yeah. Um, I realized I didn't even do the intro part fully properly. But anyways, let's give this a try. Ad libs. Hello and welcome to What Else Is On, the show on the Else Nerds Network where we talk about the movies and TV shows that we've watched over the past week. I'm Gregor Sprague, and joining me is the producers. This is a producer's show of What Else Is On because we're giving Corey the grace period of, hey, he's probably got to edit the book now. I mean, if he wrote the book for NaNoWriMo, he's got to edit it. So December would be December edit book month or something. I don't know. We'll come up with a catchy slogan later. But so joining me is Beatmaster and Evan Rockdy. Guys, how you doing? We'll start with Beat since you're not muted.
Hey there, I'm doing fine.
And Evan, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to be on the show, if only voice only. So.
Well, it's okay. You're just like you're like the just the pulsing voice there that keeps us on track and keeps us going and all that stuff, and it's all great.
Yeah.
So we have a little bit of news to talk about for the first one I found. I'm like, okay, I'm talking about this because it looks awesome, and we'll probably see this on Sci-Fi Geeks Club as a quick little mention. And that's the Alamo Drafthouse just opened a Star Wars themed movie theater in Nebraska, and they've fully. And here's the cool part, because I was looking through it, I'm like, okay, it's going to be like a temporary thing just until The Force Awakens. No, this is permanent. We'll have a link on there onto Slash Film that has the whole article where they're showing off all the stuff, including in the lobby where you purchase the tickets, you will be standing underneath the Death Star firing the giant laser cannon. No Alderaan though, surprisingly. And it looks really, really cool, and this is something that I like about the Alamo Drafthouse in general. Like, 'cause I always hear like Brian Brushwood talking about how he went there, and it's just in general like this very respected. Everyone sits down, shuts up, watches a movie, and gets thoroughly entertained by it. And then this is just like so much more, and it's this ambience of Star Wars, which is gonna suck for non-Star Wars fans, I think, when we're not having. When Star Wars isn't in theater, because you're like, oh, let's go to the Star Wars theater to watch the next rom-com sort of deal. What are you guys' thoughts on this?
Well, we have every year a movie from Star Wars, so they can go indefinitely on. But let's hope Episode 7 is good, and then let's go show further. Let's wait and see.
Yeah.
Are we sure that this theater wasn't this theater upgrade or what they did to it wasn't funded by Disney in some sneaky way?
I have no idea.
Kind of a joke.
They say it's the Kansas City's Dimensional Innovations is the theater. So wait.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Kansas City's not in Nebraska.
Yeah, so I think that might be a mistitle or
Oh.
like they mistitled it or something, because
Uh,
I'm pretty sure they live in. No,
Either way, it's in the Midwest.
no, it's in Omaha.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in Omaha, Nebraska, which is right. That's in there. But no, it's just. So I'm thinking they're doing this with a couple of them then. But hey, it's a cool little thing. They have some pictures on there that just it makes it look really cool. Some other quick fiery news that we don't really have articles for. They announced the premiere the premiere day of Top Gear, and the Top Gear done by Chris Evans, not Captain America Chris Evans, the British TV presenter. The ginger Chris Evans, as I think I've heard some British people say. And that's March 12th, I want to say. It's like March or May 12th, one of those two. But it's like 3 weeks after they get done shooting, or they're done shooting all the films and stuff, which is an interesting thing, but also doesn't surprise me at the same time.
Is it known how many episodes we get?
Hold on, let me look, because I saw this before, and it was like I think it was a good selection of episodes. Like, it was a good number. Top Gear, there we go. To the Reddits. It's in May in 2016 is when it's doing it, and you will get May 8th, and you'll have 12 episodes. Is I think what it was.
Okay.
So, which I mean, that's about the number of episodes that they usually have with the show. Like before, with the three former hosts, but I mean, I'm looking at this as a good thing because we're going to get a double dose of British car shows. And the only thing though is, that I'm curious about is, are they going to, have they just kept his co-host secret this whole time, or is it just him is it just Chris Evans for this time for Top Gear? Because I mean, even the photo, they just have him standing next to the Stig. So hey, the Stig's returning. But yeah, so I don't know. Beat, you're a Top Gear fan, aren't you?
Yes.
So
not because of the cars, because of the show hosts mostly.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on both of these things here with the Amazon Prime show, which they're still in development? It's going to happen sometime in 2016. We're not sure yet when. And then the BBC version. What are your thoughts on both of these?
Well, for the BBC version, I don't have any expectations because it was so host-centric, and you couldn't change much of the chemistry there. And it ran its course. That's another thing. It began to be stale a little bit, and changing it up with the host structure, show structure, could help the show to be different in a good way. And the traditional show, I think we get more country-specific episodes like they did for the one-offs, for the specials, instead of the ordinary weekly sessions they do with cars. So it will be a change in direction as well. So I'm hopeful for both.
Yeah.
Carefully optimistic.
No, yeah. I mean, that's generally the way I try to look at everything is, let's be optimistic about it until it fails, not be miserable and oh yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. Like, no, don't be pleasantly surprised, be bummed and disappointed is my motto at looking at television and movies.
There's already a nightly show, yes.
I'm not minding the nightly show now, but yeah. And then the third little bit is the Captain America Civil War trailer dropped. Not gonna lie, when I first saw that, I'm like, oh, this is a fake. I'm like, oh no, actual trailer, cool. It showed, I'm gonna say it showed the subplot. It did not show the main plot of the movie. And like, and I'm not gonna link to it because you can find the trailer out yourself. It's on Jimmy Kimmel's YouTube channel. It's probably on Marvel's YouTube channel by now as well. But I mean, you see them basically fighting over the Winter Soldier, which is weird for one part, but is also why I think it's the more the subplot than the regular plot. What do you guys think of the trailer? Because you guys saw it too. What do you guys think?
I think it looks good. I like how it starts with, if I remember correctly, doesn't it start off with Thunderbolt Ross at the beginning, and then what people got really excited about the most was the clips of Black Panther, and I can see based on this trailer that there's, I don't know, but there seem to be straying away from the whole Registration Act thing. It might be, they're talking about Tony, Tony needs to pay for having created Ultron and all the destruction, but who knows? So, but I think you're right. There is some heavy tie-in with the Winter Soldier, and is he good? Is he bad? Can we really trust him or something like that? I don't know.
And I mean, that's something that's sort of to be expected because of the fact that you have with the naming of the movies. If they are going for some of the movies, it was they're going in a way that it's a title from the comic books, like Civil War, like Age of Ultron, like Ragnarok. I think it's the three that I can think of right now, and the other ones are just characters. But they're doing this thing that is really what is needed, and that is you take yes, you use the title, like for example Age of Ultron, like you use that as the title for the movie, but you do not use the premise. Just same thing with Civil War, like, because if you do that, then you run the risk of getting Watchmen, where Watchmen, very beautiful in film, but for the people who read the comic, 90% of the story they already knew. They knew exactly what was going to happen, when it was going to happen, and then it wasn't until like the ending that was different from the comic book to the movie.
That's an issue with geeks, because sometimes they talk as if they want that one-to-one page-to-screen adaptation. But when you give it to them, they say, "Oh, we've been there, done that." So it's inconsequential. But I think there's room for both.
Yeah.
And Watchmen, with the long edition, I have the director's cut or the extended cut, ultimate cut. Sorry. Fills a lot of these needs of geeks that mostly was unseen by many, and
it's, and I mean it, because it is one of the things that you look at, you look at this, and so I mean with Civil War, and with both Civil War and Ragnarok, it does the directors, writers, producers best if they stray away from what the title, what the source material for the title was. So Civil War, if they stray away from the Registration Act, now they can hit at it a little bit, but because with a lot of the Marvel titles, especially the titles from the older days of before the movie studio, they had it was like, oh, you want to bring in Wolverine? Okay, bring in Wolverine. You want to bring in Mr. Fantastic? Okay, you bring in Mr. Fantastic. You know, you didn't have these problems of who owns the rights to this character, and is he one of ours? Okay, cool, we'll bring him in, sort of deal. Like, it's probably not. We probably won't get anything like a direct, like a Secret Wars thing where we get all these different characters coming in until Marvel gets the rights to every single character back, which I don't think will happen.
No. But let's see how much time is there for Spidey to show up.
Yeah.
That must be something.
That's the other thing that I didn't like, is like everyone's like, oh, I saw Spider-Man. Like, Pixar, it didn't happen, and you're pulling up, oh, dude in a red hood. Really? Come on. I would buy it more that he's Red Hood, a DC character, than oh, he's Spider-Man. That's Tom Holland right there. No, they're not going to release all of their. They're not going to show all their characters yet. They're keeping Spider-Man because he's been the big thing that everyone's hitting at, the big get, and even with Black Panther, it was like 2 seconds or like 2 maybe 3 seconds of Black Panther before it's like, oh, hey, no more, you don't get to see anymore, which was just more showing off the costume, which looked awesome.
Right. Oh,
yes.
I was thinking, do you know if either of you know if Nick Fury is in this movie or not?
I don't know, but then again, I've never been the type of person to go and search and see who's on. Like, I will afterwards, like, oh, who was that actor who played?
Well, you don't need
this person or that person,
right,
sort of deal. But not to go out and see. Well, I'm going to spoil the whole movie for myself. Oh, we got this person in there, this person in there. Well, they might as well name it an Avengers movie, like this. You know, it's like, I don't. You know, that's never been me.
Just a quick thing: the Registration Act didn't show up in the trailer, but that doesn't mean it doesn't show up in the movie. It's hard to convey that in a trailer that is 2 minutes 20 or something like that. So
yeah.
I wouldn't talk about that as like talking about trade federations in Star Wars. So nobody wants that.
Yeah.
Right.
So that just about does it for the news. And so let's switch gears and talk about Top Gear reference. Switch gears and talk about some of the TV shows. And I want to talk about first, because I think I mentioned this a little bit with Matt, but I watched, and you basically watched all of With Bob and David. The only thing you missed was the behind the scenes featurette thing, which is cool and entertaining. But what did you think of the show overall?
It was an American attempt at Monty Python's.
Yeah. No,
The
go
intro
ahead.
shows it a little bit, and the humor that is connected one sketch to another on a tangent. This style is very reminiscent of it.
Yeah, I can see that. Um, Now, did you watch Mr. Show in the beforehand? Like, were you a fan of Mr. Show, and then like, were as excited like, oh, hey, Mr. Show guys are back?
No, I went in completely fresh.
Okay, because same here. So Evan, I couldn't answer your question of was it anything like Mr. Show, because the only thing I really know from Mr. Show is what Brian Brushwood's played on the pre-shows of Night Attack with C.S. Lewis Jr. and the song that Bob Odenkirk did with that. That's about it. And so I was sitting here wondering with the intro, which yes is very much Monty Python esque in the animation style, is how much of this is similar to Mr. Show. And like I do like the one line that they threw in there of, what do you think, this is a show, mister? Like, haha, it's like they're tying in it's a little nod to their previous show. But I enjoyed all these. I laughed a lot throughout a lot of the script, a lot of the sketches, especially the time machine sketch that opened up, started the show. And I'm sitting there going, wait, so they hit Primer, they hit the movie Primer, then they hit Back to the Future, and then they're hitting all these staples of time travel movies and TV shows in a 3 to 4 minute sketch, and it was brilliant. And like I was laughing throughout the whole thing, throughout the whole show, just sitting there going, "Oh my gosh, this is hilarious! I want more." And then episode 5 is behind the scenes. And I'm like, this is odd to put a behind the scenes in the middle. Oh, that's the end of. They only did 5 episodes. Okay, wow, I feel bad now. I want more. Did you get that feeling too when you realized that there was only 4 episodes, like that you wanted more?
It was just dropping out at after episode 4 anyway, because it didn't tickle my funny bone, and
Yeah.
so I said, okay, I watched 4 episodes to be sure that I didn't miss anything that's so hyped about. Then said, no, I'm the wrong person for it.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. Um, because yeah, there were some sketches to me that I didn't like. I wasn't in love with, but overall, I did like. I did like the feel of the show. Um, so next, are you watching Master of None, or have you watched Master of None Beat?
No.
No. Okay, so this show, I guess I will talk about it by myself. But this show, it's I talked about this with Matt. It's the show that was starred, created, some of the episodes were written by, and produced by Aziz Ansari, and this is sort of, it's not exactly autobiographical, but his parents are played by his parents. So I'll phrase it in that way because that's how he's said it on late night shows. Um, but he plays a fictionalized character called Dev, and you have him going about New York City being a struggling actor. He was doing mainly a lot of commercials, a lot of commercial work, and he the first episode you have him, and it's also very much about this relationship with this girl played by Noelle Wells, who's freaking adorable. Um, Especially in the show. But you see her, like they have a one night stand, and the condom breaks. They go to get the Plan B pill, and then he gets her an Uber and drops her off, and we're thinking that's it. And then he meets her at a concert where she says she has a boyfriend, takes her to Nashville. This is all in the course of like 4 episodes, and then they start going out, and there's I got a little bit with some of the stuff in there. A little bit of it felt like Portlandia, like some of the relationships that they had that is in the show Portlandia. But overall, it worked. I felt very much for the characters. There was one episode where it's all basically in their apartment. They just moved in, and it's like over the course of a year, it's how they go from, oh hey, everything's cute and adorable because we just decided to move into, I hate the fact that you're messy. I hate the fact that you're such a neat freak. I hate this. I hate that. To accepting that because, like, and getting into fights over, could she take a job over in Chicago as a PR person for bands, more bands that she likes, not these crappy bands that she doesn't like, as she said before. Then to the culmination of that, and it ends at a cliff note to where if they did not get a second season, it would be fine. It's a nice wrapped up story, but I could see them continuing on with season 2, 3, and 4 of the show. It's got really good cast in there. You got Aziz Ansari, Noel Wells, Eric Warheim is in there from Tim and Eric, who plays the token white friend, as Aziz has described him. One episode in particular where he falls in love. Well, okay, not in love, but becomes best friends with those seal robot things that a lot of people get for old people. Like, they're like those robotic companion pets. And one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen is like, hey, will you watch him for a second? And then he just looks back, like he just does one of these sad little look backs, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so funny, but yet so adorable at the same time. And it's Eric Warheim, who isn't adorable. But no, really cool. Really, definitely worth the watch. I mean, it's 10 to 12 episodes long. They all go real quick, and the intros are always stylized, which I enjoy. And it's filmed in the movie aspect. It's filmed in that, like, what is it, 1:1 and 3/8 or 1.38 or whatever it is.
2.35 to 1 usually.
Yeah, that's the ratio right there, and it just makes it look really cool. So check that out. Both this and Bob and David are on Netflix. We're not doing all Netflix stuff, but hey, it's there. The next one I want to hit on, because I know Evan's seen the show. Have you seen Superstore, Beat?
Superstore?
Yeah. Nope. Okay. So Superstore is the NBC mid-season replacement comedy that they've been advertising that stars, I'm blanking on his name, but the dude from A to Z, America Ferrera. It has one of the dudes from Kids in the Hall. I cannot think of his name. But he plays the store boss, and I'm like, it's a dude from Kids in the Hall. And you know who I'm talking about, Evan, right?
No, I know the character, but not the actor.
Yeah,
I only know those two actors.
But yeah, no, he's known for, he's a Kid in the Hall.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those, like, I saw him, but I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I know that actor from other stuff. But no, NBC last night, instead of airing like The Voice or whatever they normally air on Monday,
it was after The Voice is when they said, because I saw like a few weeks ago, I saw like a 2 or 3 minute trailer which basically summarized the entire first episode, except for some of the stuff at the end.
Yeah. Like
with them in the shopping carts outside and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, that's true. But so it's instead of whatever Blind Spot, I think it was, is part of the show.
Oh yeah, because Blind Spot is on its winter or mid-season break.
Yeah, but so they played the first 3 episodes, which is a weird thing.
Wait, 3? I thought they only played the first one.
No.
I only saw the first one. I didn't because I saw that they said it was a special showing, so I thought they would have only done the first one.
No. Huh. Because I even asked my grandma today when we went to Bob Evans for dinner, and she's like, yeah, it seemed like it was last an hour. I'm like, no, those are half our episodes. So yeah, it was 90 minents. You saw the first 3 episodes.
Interesting, because I was going to ask you when it's supposed to be coming back. Probably like in January, I would think.
I don't know. So the only thing I will say though is, I want to say I noticed it in episode 3, but I didn't really notice it in episode 2. They do get a location change.
Okay. Did you notice the whole thing? They made it a point where there's that whole thing in the first episode where America Ferrera's character says to her coworker who just got engaged or
To
whatever.
Jonah. Oh
No,
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 oh yeah,
to the
yeah.
coworker
To
who got engaged, and she says to her, "We have a policy that you can't wear jewelry at work."
mm-hmm.
And then you saw this will be a spoiler if you haven't. Well, you've seen the first episode, so you know the very very last shot of the episode, right?
Yeah,
Where America Ferrera's walking to her car, she like looks up at the sky and then puts on a ring.
yeah, it's yeah, that one.
Is
It will hit on to that. They will hit on that later on. I'm pretty sure of it. Like
okay,
bringing in her fiance.
right? Oh no, no, no. Her fiance. Oh, because I was thinking when she looked up at the sky and then put on the ring I thought that her husband or whoever was her husband had died, and she just keeps wearing the ring, as to remember him or something.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was.
Well, I mean, with that, because that was the pilot, they probably had the outs of all these other things.
Oh, I mean, they
other ways
shot
could do
different, right?
Yeah, like, well, not even that they shot it differently, but like with the writers, like, okay, we could take it this way where he's he died. We could take it this way where he's over in a war, or
Or
he's
he's in
overseas
prison.
or something, or there's like this
Oh, that's
longing.
that's something that I never thought of, that he could
Yeah,
be, yeah, in the military, and she just hopes that he. But I think that's kind of bad for Jonah because he has to now see her somewhere that's not work in order for him to or for him to notice that she's wearing the ring, maybe.
but it's one of those things though that it will become. It's sort of a TV trope where you have the guy who pines after the girl who's unavailable for some reason. And quick side note: Mark McKinney, who plays the store manager Glenn,
Okay,
who is in Kids in the Hall.
right, okay.
Um, but yeah, I mean it's really funny. Even the other shows, um, the other actors like they get a lot of actors besides America Ferrera or for America Ferrera, Ben Fieldman,
Oh, there we go.
and Mark McKinney.
What did you think of the actress who plays the not not the ultimate main boss, but the woman who's one down from him that
Dina,
makes
the
it,
store
yeah,
manager,
that
the
says
assistant.
that ended up forcing the guy due to store policy to not be able to start the staff meetings with a quote from the Bible.
It's it's one of those things with her that it's. I'm going to preface what I'm about to say by you have to realize who the creator of the show is. The creator of the
Okay.
show is Justin Spitzer, who wrote for Scrubs, The Office, and there was a third one too. Um, but he wrote for Scrubs, Courting Alex, and the U.S. version of The Office. So,
Uh,
including one of the episodes, Dwight K. Schrute acting regional manager during season
huh.
7 of that's basically all his Wikipedia page is episodes of The Office that he's written that were written by him.
Wait, when he was the head writer on those?
No, he was just a writer, not
Oh,
necessarily a
okay.
head writer.
Uh,
Um, but he's written some good episodes.
oh,
Like Moroccan Christmas, Michael Scott Paper Company, um, Costume Contest, Dwight K. Schrute acting regional manager, Angry Andy. But yeah, but the point I'm going to make with Dina is she's very much like Dwight. She's
okay.
it's very much you have this character who's super by the book, has to follow the rules for everything, much like Dwight,
Right.
and except it's more, it's where he was more, his background was in the not they're not Amish, but the like the Mennonites
Right.
sort of deal, or at least it was something like that.
Uh-huh.
Hers is more, it seems like super hardcore conservative evangelical Christian
Right.
sort
I
of
can
thing.
see that.
But like
So,
but with that background of you have to follow the rules no matter where you're
Right,
at.
they want to run a well-oiled machine. But I think that this show has potential. What do you just to
I
kind of wrap up? What do you think it will could have the potential to last at least
Yes,
like a full
especially
season?
especially with NBC not getting or not having a lot of comedies. It seems like they're trying as mid-season replacements to do a lot of comedies, which we'll see when we get to starts and stops. Their other one telenovela, or basically like what I like to call Zachary Quinto's second, no Zachary Levi's second show on NBC right now.
Wait, oh, huh,
Uh
he's
huh.
in that one.
Uh
Huh.
huh.
When you said
Um,
Zachary Quinto, all I could think of
I
was
slipped. I
no, it was
slipped.
the show from last season, which I didn't see. Wasn't it called like
The slap.
it's
It was a
oh the slap?
miniseries.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
slap. He was in that and Uma Thurman. But the other show, which is slightly, I don't think will be in starts and stops because it doesn't premiere till January, is that show with Jennifer Lopez and Ray Liotta. It's
Yeah.
going to be a drama, which is taking the place of The Player, I believe.
Which is smart when you have replacing a show that's canceled. But so I think this is them trying to get, because right now the only trying to get a show that's or get a comedy out there that's going to be successful, because right now I think the only show that is really truly successful on NBC that is a comedy is Undateable.
Yeah, what happened with the Mark Paul Gosselaar show?
Its ratings are really low. It's still going on. It's hanging on by a thread.
And then, did they have any other? There are other comedies that they had premiered like in August, which were the Carmichael Show and Mr. Robinson, and only the Carmichael Show got renewed.
Yeah, but that's probably going to be a summer show,
Oh, gotcha.
is how I look at it.
Right.
Um, but so I mean that's really
Yeah.
sort of
So if you like a
yes.
comedy set in a place similar to Kmart or Target, or sorry, Kmart or Walmart or um, Costco, then I think you'll like the show, and it has good acting, good writing. I think
Oh
it's
yeah,
funny. Oh, and their store, if you we didn't mention, was called Cloud9.
yeah.
That's the store they
It's
work at.
which they hit on that right in the beginning of the episode of the first
Right.
episode, and but yeah, I mean, like this should tell you how NBC's programming is right now. On Wikipedia, they're for sitcoms, which is basically all their comedies. Um, there's
Because
four shows.
current
Unda-
airing.
currently airing, yeah.
Okay.
Undateable, Carmichael Show, Truth Be Told, and Superstore.
And Truth Be Told is the one with Mark Paul Gosselaar.
Yes,
Okay, gotcha. Interesting that they're going
and
with that.
there's only three other sitcoms coming out um in 2016, like in mid 2016. A crowded telenovela, You, Me, and the End of the World,
Interesting.
or it, yeah.
Just to finish up Superstore, what did you think of the other supporting characters? Let's see, the woman who got engaged, the guy in the wheelchair, and the new employee who started at the same time as Jonah,
Okay, so I'm gonna start with Mateo, who is that guy
the
they're
Asian
talking.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Vietnamese guy. Um, I
he's a suck up.
yeah, it's to compare it to The Office. He's the other part of Dwight. He's
Uh,
where Dina and I am cheating looking at Wikipedia page to get
Fair enough.
character names. Where Dina is that super strict, follow the rules, much like how Dwight was. Mateo is more the kiss ass part, where he's come in, especially with how the first episode set up. He comes in, um, and understand knows who everyone is, who's the people that who knows the people's asses that he has to kiss to get ahead, and he's already full on got his lips puckered and just waiting for them to bend over, sort of deal. Cheyenne, who is the associate who is pregnant, that one I think is going to be cute and adorable. I find her fiance to be annoying as hell, and it's more the character, not necessarily the actor. Um, And then you have Garrett, who is the associate, who is also paraplegic. That one, I really like his character. I think he could bring he could end up bringing a lot of stuff if it gets a full season and then gets a future seasons afterwards.
How many episodes does Wikipedia say that they have?
Just 3 right now. It's
Yeah,
just
they're
3
probably
episodes out. There's not really too much else.
Well, I just saw because I loaded up Hulu. They do have all 3 episodes on there. So after this, I'll be watching the other 2. So.
All right. So with that, we are going to take a quick break and hit starts and stops because it's like a big extra stuff to starts and stops because of
just as a teaser, can you tell me if in starts and stops you'll be saying when the Netflix Bill Murray special premieres? Okay.
Yes, because starting off with starts and stops, we have the streaming starts, which, boy, I have been busy this morning because we've added 2 new streaming services. We still have Netflix and Amazon, but now we also have Hulu and Tubi TV or Tubby TV out there, which is a new thing that I was debating on putting in here. Then I saw some of the line. I'm like, oh, hey, cool. I'm gonna put it in here anyways. So B, you look at this. Tell me if there's anything else that you think I should mention on here. But starting with Netflix, and Netflix is the only one that has the what's leaving as well. So Batman Begins, both versions of Brian's song are leaving. Employee of the Month, The Hustler, the 1961 version of The Hustler, those are all leaving. There's others on there too. But what's coming in, the second season of Broadchurch, which was phenomenal. On the 4th is A Very Merry Christmas. And then also it's out today is Brett Morin's comedy special. What else is there? There's another one. On Christmas on Netflix is the Black Mirror White Christmas episode, which everyone's like super excited for that hasn't seen it already. And then at the end of the year, you can get the whole series of Battle Creek. The other one I saw, I saw. Oh yeah, it's on there too. You can also get the first 7 seasons. I think it's all the seasons of Nurse Jackie as well on Netflix. Some of the movies. Oh gosh, there's none that really jumping out of me. The Da Vinci Code. Vampire Academy comes out on the 7th. Da Vinci Code comes out on the 14th. But Amazon Prime's got some good ones because the 12th you have the second season of Transparent, which I already talked about. But then I realized I talked about Amazon Prime last week. The 19th has Selma, and Hulu, like I said, already has the first 3 episodes of Superstore. Tomorrow, the 2nd, has Rocket Jump, the series premiere, or Rocket Jump the show. Man Seeking Woman, the first season of that comes out on the 7th. And the movie section, it looks like all the Friday the 13th movies are coming out there. So hey, for fans of Podcast of Terror, there you go. There's some more horror coming to there.
Tubi TV has Paranormal Activity, all the movies.
Yeah, which is cool because I think they Tubi TV has picked up the deal that was laxed from Netflix with MGM, which is why you see all these ones that are on here, and it has other great TV shows on there as well, like the original UK version of Shameless that has a young James McAvoy in there, and another Channel 4 TV show, The In-Betweeners. That's sort of what I'm like, all right, I'm gonna check this out. You have to disable ad blocker. I will check it out later. But yeah, no, so check it out. You got 4 great streaming resources right there. on to Stars and Stops. I'm going to skip Tuesday since, hey, it's over. Like I already mentioned, 301 you have on Hulu the series premiere of Rocket Jump, the show. At 8 p.m. on Fox, you have the first season fall finale of Rosewood. NBC at the same time has the 1 hour special presentation, Christmas in Rockefeller Center. 9 p.m. on True TV, you have the series premiere of Santa in the Barn. At 10 p.m. on Travel, you have Rev Runs Around the World, the series premiere of that show. Basically, it's Rev Run's travel show. Thursday at 7:45 p.m. on Cartoon Network, you have the first season finale of Long Live the Royals, which I believe has the voice talents of Paul F. Tompkins in that program. And then 8 p.m. on NBC, you have the original telefilm of The Wiz Live. At 9 p.m. on True TV is the time slot premiere of Santa's in the Barn. And then Bravo has the time slot premiere at 10 p.m. of Top Chef. Friday at 3:01 a.m. on Netflix, you have the special presentation of A Very Merry Christmas. At 8 p.m. on CW is the third season fall finale of Rain. 10 p.m. on Epix, you have the special presentation of Mark Maron, More Later. And on Saturday, you have at 9 p.m. the 1 hour special presentation on FYI of Tiny House Nation, the 12 Tiny Homes of Christmas, and BBC America has the 9th season finale of Doctor Who with the episode called Hellbent. On Sunday at 12 p.m. on Ovation, which is 12 noon, you have the second season premiere of Portrait Artist of the Year, Sol Campbell, Sam Humphries, and Maisie Williams. It's supposed to be Humphries, not Humphties. At 8 p.m. on ABC, you have the 5th season fall finale of Once Upon a Time. 8:30 on History Channel, you have the special presentation of Pawn Stars, 90s Pawn. At 9 p.m. on CBS, you have the 2 hour special presentation, Sinatra 100, an all-star Grammy concert. And then at 9:30 on ABC Family, you have the special presentation of Shadowhunters Beyond the Shadows, the making of Shadowhunters. And then on Monday at 8 p.m. on ABC, you have the third season premiere of Christmas Light Fight, or The Great Christmas Light Fight. Fox has the 2 hour special presentation of TV's Funniest Animated Stars, a Paley Center for Media special. 9 p.m. has the special presentation on HBO of U2's Innocence and Experience live in Paris. And VH1 has the special presentation of VH1 Big in 2015 with Entertainment Weekly. It's a 1 hour special presentation. 10 p.m. on NBC, you have the series premiere of Telenovela. And at 11:59 on Adult Swim, you have the series premiere of Neon Joe, Werewolf Hunter. And then on Final Curtains, the only things that are added really in there to change, Minority Report and The Player both got canceled. So weep and mourn for those shows. And that is Starts and Stops. So, Supergirl. Because I know, Beat, you've seen it because you put you have the great writings, the quick little one sentence things about all the shows that you watch, and Supergirl's always in there with Flash and Arrow. So what are you thinking overall? How are you liking the show overall, or are you liking the show overall right now?
It's a good show that has fun with itself. That's always start with the good things.
Yeah.
And to depict the right girl for the job, the right woman,
Mm-hmm.
and the powerhouse of Ally McBeal, Clarissa Flockhart.
Yeah.
Is exceptional in this show. She steals the show, more or less.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
And
Okay, so it sounds like you have some complaints.
yeah, it happened to the second episode to the third. It was a heavy drop off from the pilot.
Mm-hmm.
They spent all their money, budget-wise, on the first one to be spectacular. The second one, the third one, had some hokey action scenes that were obviously made by wires and other things, and the fighting itself wasn't that interesting. It was a little bit like Batman stuck in his cape and wasn't able to fight really well. Now we're 5 episodes up, or 6 even? 6?
I think it's 5. It's like 5 or 6. Yeah, it's like right around there.
And it's finding its gear, so I have patience for it to grow. The writing has to be a little bit better structured, but because it seems like it adds little conversations with Jimmy or with her friends, all are put together like potpourri, and it doesn't feel like it advances a lot. It stays on its place, and we don't get much resolve.
Yeah. Wait, what? Okay, sorry. I'm looking at things and it doesn't. So it sounds like the Wikipedia needs to be updated, but they've aired 6 episodes so far. Like they just switched the place of 2 of them. I want to say, because of
that doesn't, yeah, of the suicide bomber.
Yeah, because of as the last leg puts it, the cyst ISIS that is the terrorists over that are from the Middle East. That's all I will say. But yeah, they've had 6 episodes, with this last one being called Red Faced, where it's basically Kara dealing with her anger issues, as well as dealing with the Red Tornado. And I liked that episode all the way up until the end, where I'm like, do we have to have these great characters that, like the Red Tornado, that you kill? Like, these are overarching people. Like how the Flash suffered from this. Like, we had these great villains, and it's like, until we got to Captain Cold, it's like, wait a minute, we can't kill Captain Cold because he's Wentworth Miller, and he's a good actor. Not like, oh hey, CW ABC Family budget actor, but we're stretching the limits to get him, sort of deal. I don't know how I feel about the fact that a lot of them are dying. A lot of the characters here that are dying on the show, and I mean, maybe it's just like one of these things that, hey, it will go. It will resolve itself with season 2 or something, but I don't know.
That's the point where I have issues with the writing, because she has to prove herself every time, and it repeats the storyline. It didn't change much, just the surroundings and villain. But they had to get the radioactive man, or what's his name again?
Which one? Or
the one that Superman never could get rid of, and she did it.
Oh, which one is that? That one was Reactron.
Yeah, Reactron. And yeah, there was only there to show she is equal to him, or she could take on bigger people, but it didn't felt real, felt made up, and so there was never big tension in the show. It was always clear she's gonna do it and gonna go on.
Yeah, I mean, and I love the show. I'm gonna say this right here. I love the show. It's like, my nitpicks with the fact that they kill the villains is only because of the fact that it seems like you could have good or great future episodes if you didn't kill the villains. But I also have to trust the fact that that the writing team has an idea on how they're wanting the show to go, 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons out into the future. The other one is that I hope will get improved with season 2 is some of the effects. You can tell where they spent their money, and where they didn't.
Yes.
Like the second episode with pulling the ship. It's like, that doesn't look great. And then with this one with punching the car, it's like it's looking better, but it's not great, sort of deal. Um, but that's sort of it's more. I look at that more like growing pains. Like you have to,
Yeah.
like, the show is going to grow, and then once it grows and gets a bigger budget, then hey, problem will be solved. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's a great show. I'm enjoying this. It's it's very much lighthearted in the vein of The Flash. For a lot of the stuff, like in the Berlanti verse of superhero shows, like it's not super dark thing that is Arrow, but so it's like that. But looking at the other side of things, um, I will be glad once they get over the whole, well, she is just a girl, thing. Like they're always trying to teach us something about women, which is like, okay, we get it, but can we just get it to where she's a freaking alien from Krypton? That's super strong and all this stuff.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I don't want to talk about Jessica Jones, but just in comparison, she felt more real and has evolution, or you at least feel where the limits of the character are, what she does, what she doesn't. And Kara feels so generic. It's bland a little bit in comparison, and it doesn't need to be compared to Jessica Jones, but it's the next best female heroine we had on TV right now, and I would give Jessica Jones much more credit for doing something real and still fun to a degree.
Yeah, and like I like both of the shows too. Like, I mean, I don't want to hit too much on Jessica Jones because one, I haven't finished the series yet. Just got busy with work and making that money, y'all, and trying to watch and get caught up on comic books and watching TV shows and all that stuff. So yeah, it's like life get in the way. But at the same time, where I'm at with Jessica Jones, I'm really enjoying this show. I enjoyed Jessica Jones from the beginning. I said this. I think I said this last week with Dave. I love the opening cinematic music for Jessica Jones. That it's like that smooth jazz sort of style, and then bam, you get hit, sort of deal. I love that. So the other one I want to talk about, the other show, is The Librarians, because one, I forgot that it came back, so I've been trying to catch up. I've been consistently like an episode or two behind, and that's more just me slacking on my part. So how are you liking the season overall there, Beat?
I love it. It came back in the same mood. It didn't change the storylines too much. They came together back again. It seemed natural. It doesn't seem forced. And all actors are on their toes, doing their best to stand out as characters, but even as unity, they represent something I can enjoy. And there's no nitpicking for me in this show. So far, they had all their aces on the table.
Yeah, I mean, and it's because I said this last week with Dave, that The Librarians, I like this because there's this campiness to it, and it's not the same camp that Ash versus Evil Dead, which I'm a week behind on now, or an episode behind on now, has. Like, it's Ash versus Evil Dead is that horror camp, and with Librarians, it's that family good time, sit around the TV and watch this show together, and the parents don't have to worry about their kids learning new sexual positions like they would if they watched Jessica Jones. Or, Mommy, why is that lady hurting that guy? Sort of thing. It's just you sit down, you're watching this thing, and plus, I didn't realize until I did Wikipedia searches because I was bored and started doing Wikipedia stuff, that the dude who Christian Kane, the guy, is the actor's name, but he was in Leverage before, and I'm like, is this dude like Mr. TNT? He's the more roughneck Southern guy out of the Librarians.
But highly intelligent.
Yeah, but highly intelligent. No, I like these episodes because this, like you said, this is a formula that doesn't have to be broken to work. Because I mean, with last season, they had the people trying. Was it Max Headroom? I think it was the dude who played Max Headroom as the lead villain in there trying to restore magic.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, yeah. And then this season, it's trying to gather up and protect all the magic now that it's out there, which is a natural progression. But then it's also you have I'm blanking on the villain's name, but the big bad for the season.
Not Moriarty. Moriarty's a good one. The other is the
Yeah, Moriarty is he's like the henchman or something.
this move man. Yeah.
Starts with a P. I can't think of what his name is.
We have a bad day with names today.
Yeah. But you know, he's one of Shakespeare's villains. Loses the wand. That guy. If you know, write in the comments. We'll figure it out later. But that guy, like, it seems like okay. This is a formula. Like you get the big bad for the show, and it works. It's not like oh, we're gonna get drawn out and have these things going on. You know, it's legitimately gonna work.
It's a show that ripped off Warehouse 13, obviously, many things, but it's I enjoy it more in its way because it's not as repetitive, and
Yeah.
and it changes up the things more, and yeah, they have the formula for fun.
Yeah.
No, Riley does a good job there too. He wasn't that good in the first season, but he became better.
Well, because they get, like, again, this show comes from the movies, the TV movies that he did, and all that, and so that's where I'm like, wait, did those come out after Warehouse 13 as well? But I don't know. It's I could see that. Like, I haven't watched any Warehouse 13. I really probably should watch Warehouse 13 because I've heard a lot of great things about it. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, this is I am thoroughly enjoying the show. So it's like I'm not gonna sit there and I'm gonna catch up. I'm gonna try my hardest to catch back up. But yeah, that's one of the first world problems I have.
Prospero? Was that the name? Prospero?
Yeah, Prospero. That's it.
Ah, hey.
Beatmaster wins. So Beat, share with us Man in the High Castle. Because I've seen the pilot. I know the second episode's out available for free as well, but I have not seen past the first episode. I'm assuming you've seen more, if not all of it.
All of it, yeah. I had some time free with not broken arm but injured, so I had a lot of time to binge. And it felt like work.
Really?
The first two episodes opened up a world that was fascinating. You said, oh, there can be done so much under this premise, and they can explore a lot of it. But they are stuck a lot of times with characters that aren't that interesting. That's the highest sin you can do as a show, and I don't believe in the chemistry of the main characters that are on the run. It's sad. It's well done, well shot, great cinematography, but it's a bore for me.
Yeah. No, and that's sad to hear for many reasons. Because one, it's like if I need to find a new good show, I usually turn to you, or we'll turn to our show doc and see what you're talking about and putting in there. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Man in the High Castle wasn't for me. Excuse me. With getting this job where I have some money I can spend every week, Man in the High Castle wasn't the show. Like, I hadn't heard enough and got excited enough about it to be like, okay, yeah, this is why I'm going to get Amazon Prime, which I don't have yet. I'm still waiting for. It's looking like the new Top Gear show might be that show, but. And then I will catch up on Transparent and Man in the High Castle and Red Oaks. Like, it's like all these are hitting where it's like I'm getting closer and closer, and it might the new car show might be what pushes me over the edge, unless I see something before then. And I was hoping that you would say, "Oh yeah, it's phenomenal. You need to watch it," because then it'd be like, "All right, I will get this sooner," and then be like, "There we go."
Did you watch the X-Files back when?
The X-Files, no. I think I was a little too young to watch for X-Files, to where it was like I like sci-fi then, but it like the X-Files, I think I saw a little bit of it and it creeped me out. I'm like, all right, no, I'm not gonna watch that.
Well, the pacing, the way of advancing the story is very similar, and it's because the showrunner, the creator of Man in High Castle, Frank Spotnitz, was helping Chris Carter back when, and you see similarities there where they have their tradition of how to tell a story, and that was okay back in the 90s, early 90s, mid 90s, but nowadays we have so much great stuff out there that changed it up forever, so TV can't be the same like 20 years ago. That I think it's the creators they have to exchange, or it won't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that. So I want to end real quick end the show on a show that I know all three of us have watched. So Evan will chime back in here hopefully, and that is Limitless. The show based on the movie of the same name, that is executive produced by Bradley Cooper, and good God, I love this show. This show honestly makes me love the main character of Brian Finch. Every episode it's on, I loved the people. I don't know who's the guy who picks out their music when they did Baby Metal. I'm like, yes, just brah, to Japanese girl, like little Japanese girls, just yeah, let's go, sort of deal. And like even with like the episodes that have happened since then, and I think they're on their break, or they're just taking like a...
Yeah, no, they're on their break.
Are they?
They're not having one tonight. I know that.
No, I know that.
But I think where they left off last week's episode, or whatever the last one, last week's episode, I think is going to be, it leaves it in an interesting place for when they come back.
Yeah. And this is one of those things, like with this show, that you can have this show where it's similar in a way to iZombie, where iZombie you have each week she takes on a different trait, and it's sort of the same way with him, but with him you see that where the FBI thinks that they're in control, or this is it FBI?
Yeah.
I know it's the CJC, but the FBI, where they think that they have it under control, like really he's pulling all the strings here, and he's just using them for his own little like to get what he wants to do, really. And it's cool. I honestly thought you would have seen more of, like, I think it was in the first two episodes, where they had the writing that's in like you're seeing inside of his headspace. So you had the writing that would pop up here next to him as he's doing stuff. But it was a pleasant surprise to see that they're using other styles, like they're using comic book bubbles for when he's reading lips, or falling heavily on claymation, but it's working great.
Yeah,
so I like the claymation.
I like when they show him like swallowing the pill and then the stuff activating in his brain and all that. Yeah. That's really cool. But I have to say, my favorite episode so far, I think, is the one, I think it was not last week, but the week before, the one where he pesters, what's her name, Naz, to get the headquarters, and they take down the top 10 most wanted.
With exclamation point. Don't forget the exclamation point.
Oh, well, anyway, so far that's my favorite episode, but I think there are other episodes that, like this, the most recent one, that progresses the story better than that FBI's Most Wanted. But
they have a good cast. Even the small roles are played well by Mike and Ike and all the people. You feel for them, even though they are nearly never on.
Yeah, and I
Right.
like the fact that with that episode, with the top 10 FBI's most wanted list, Mike and Ike, it seems like just have agreed that their names are Mike and Ike. They've given into it, and it makes it that much more enjoyable. Like, yeah, Brian Finch is just running the show here. Um, it does remind me a little bit of White Collar, except there was this give and take of who's using who, with the FBI using Neil and then Neil using the FBI. This, it's like they think they're using him, which they are in some ways, but he's really using them.
And then, well, he's using them for his own purposes, but then
Mm-hmm.
really he's being used by Senator Mora, the Bradley Cooper character, and or the guy that he has watching, who's watching him, or even the woman who's the nurse for his father who administers the shots to Brian.
Yeah,
They're
which
all
is
like
basically just Senator Mora.
right. So Senator Mora, you have him pulling strings of his own, what he wants Brian to do. So he's
But we
being
haven't seen too much of that influence, it seems like. Like, we've seen little bits of, oh, well, we got the nurse to come in and do the shots, the enzyme shots for Brian. We got this one dude who's going to come in, which makes sense because, I mean, Bradley Cooper, freaking huge movie star, probably not going to be able to come in for a series arc or even like a short, like 3-story arc or 3-episode arc to do, you know. So it's like, so it makes sense for like these special appearances, like you get with Sam Jackson on Agents of Shield, where like he'll occasionally pop in and have like a small little scene. It makes sense that you'll have the henchman do it, but really he's the mouthpiece for the head guy.
well. I'm curious to think now that Brian, used his attorney-client privileges to tell his dad everything, and then his dad, talked to a different or one of his other lawyer friends to try to help Brian to kind of sue the FBI or whatever, get out of his contract. I'm wondering like what's going to happen now because I don't really, or at least it's not known. I don't think yet whether Brian. I don't think Brian has agreed to visit his dad's friend or is even wanting to do
No,
that at this point.
He said no last episode. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So do you
yeah.
think his friend or his dad's friend or his dad will try to go after, go play that angle more or?
I think it very well could be a possibility. I think they could have, like, they'll have an episode, like a little bit on down the road, where
Father
yeah,
knows best.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Father knows best, sort of deal, and it would probably be, I could see them doing it as a capper to Dad, where he goes, all right, show me how this works on you. Show me what this is doing to you, and then that happens, and we see Brian on NZT around his dad and where he could just sit there and go and just like file dump on
Yeah,
his
but he
dad.
can't. But that's the thing. Everybody who knows anything about NZT also knows that there are horrible side effects, and his father might be questioning
His
Brian like everyone does and says, well, how come you don't have any problems when you take it?
I don't think his dad knows the side effects though.
Oh, yet. Or they'll just think, oh, maybe his son somehow is immune to the...
This is where if, like I'm saying here, he brings his dad in on a mission or something. Like his dad gets brought in on a mission, and this closes this first little dad story arc. And then where you're at is the beginning of the next dad story arc, where now that his Brian's still chummy with the FBI, and his dad's chummy with him, and they're all hanging out. Maybe he's popping in at the FBI or whatever. They start saying some things to him to get a better idea on his background, because the FBI still believes that it's hereditary, and so he
Oh, yeah,
goes,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But then are they gonna? But then that would lead me to believe that wouldn't the FBI be wanting, or not necessarily wanting to, as much as forcing his dad to then try to take it? against his will.
I think that could go that way. I don't think it
Don't
would.
think so.
I don't think it would have to go that way though.
It would be a death sentence because The Rock usually kills people.
Oh, right. And his dad has already had that whole surgery or whatever, so.
But just one thing, Ron Rifkin, he's a great portrayal for that. He's always bringing the guilt into the sons, and the chemistry between him and the main character is done very well. It feels like you're having fun in an episode, then it gets real with that. And you feel it. If you had confrontations or talks about getting older and stuff like that, it felt very real, very embedded in reality.
Yeah. So final thoughts on the show?
It's good. I'm curious to see where it goes, if they'll get more into the whole thing about how NZT was created and, you know, who's distributing it and all that stuff, because they showed that one guy who, like, was creating it, or didn't he die? The guy, they went out to, like, his cabin or whatever in the remote location, so. And then he died. Didn't the guy that was working for Senator Mora kill him, right?
Something like that, yeah.
I think so. The guy who they thought had created NZT or whatever.
Yeah. Beat, final thoughts on?
A recommendation for everyone.
There you go.
It's unfortunate, I think, that Corey said he took it off his DVR, just like with Blind Spot. He just didn't have enough time.
But we're in a great time right now where you can catch up on shows. Like, because we're getting...
Yeah, now through the end of the year.
Yeah, we're getting to the mid-season break. So, this could be a time where Corey goes, hey, I want to I have some extra time to TV. Let's watch this. Or it might turn into, let's watch Jessica Jones.
Right.
Or A Very Merry Christmas. But whatever, you know, that's for Corey to decide. He's a grown man. But any other show you guys want to talk about?
I think not. We'll save other stuff for when Corey comes back, especially The Walking Dead.
Yeah, we're gonna save Walking Dead. All I gotta say is I loved it. It was awesome.
It was.
And actually, was an interesting thing to bookend on with the actress who plays was it Deanna? The ruler, the former senator of Alexandria, to then see her the next day on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend as Rachel, as Becky's mom.
Yeah.
And okay, so I'm talking about this real quick. She comes in full bore song and dance.
Yeah.
That's how she debuts it. I'm like, yeah, go Tova, whatever your last name is, you do it. And it was an awesome episode. I highly recommend it. We'll probably talk about that next week as well. But you can check out our Facebook page at facebook.elsnerds.com. Because that wraps it up for the show, so I'm going to do the outro. You can go to our webpage at elsnerds.com, and you can see full archives of our episodes on our Elsnerds YouTube channel at watch.elsnerds.com. You can send us mail. We encourage you, send us mail at mail@elsnerds.com. Let us know how we're doing, what you think, how you think our opinions were, what you like, you don't like, all that stuff. If you just want to say hi, do it. Go for it. And we record What Else Is On. We try to do every Monday night, but we understand that, you know, there are time constraints for our hosts. So we work around it, but we usually record Monday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Western. And the last thing to say is this has been a Don't Tell Glenn production. We will see you guys next time.